I'd done really nothing about blew our marriage to smithereens, and I went into the Betty Ford Center for 3 months.
Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have long been hailed as Hollywood's unbreakable couple, but new viral footage has shattered that illusion. A heated exchange, caught on camera and dissected worldwide, has ignited relentless speculation. Let's dive in. The viral fight. The footage begins not with a whisper, but with a flash of tension that no publicist could have scripted. Nicole Kidman, an internationally recognized actress, and Keith Urban, country music superstar, found themselves at the center of a viral media storm when a new video emerged, showing the couple in a visibly heated exchange during a public outing. The moment, captured by fans and amplified across platforms, ignited immediate speculation about the state of their marriage. Headlines rapidly framed the clip as proof of cracks beneath the glossy surface of one of Hollywood's most admired unions, and the footage quickly spread across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram Reels with millions of views in hours. The viral label was unavoidable. What made the video explosive was not merely the presence of disagreement, celebrities argue, couples have tense moments, but the context, the optics, and the timing. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have spent years projecting a carefully balanced narrative of resilience and togetherness. They have spoken openly about fertility struggles, addiction recovery, and the challenges of balancing two high-profile careers. When the camera cut to their unfiltered expressions, a clenched jaw, averted eyes, a tense exchange of words, the facade of harmony seemed suddenly destabilized. Yet in recent months, sources began hinting at friction and distance. Reporting confirmed they have publicly separated after 19 years. Friends of the couple reportedly say the separation had been known for a while. Insiders claim they had been living apart in Nashville, and Keith's move into his own residence was described by close sources as a turning point. Reports also surfaced that during a July 1st radio appearance in Australia, Keith hung up when asked about Nicole's on-screen romantic scenes, fueling speculation about deeper emotional strain.
Oh man, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban getting separated after almost 20 years of marriage. They've been separated since the beginning of summer.
The clip itself lasts less than 45 seconds, but its circulation turned it into a cultural event. As viewers replayed, slowed down, and dissected every frame, the body language analysis began. Commentators emphasized Nicole's fixed stare and Keith's defensive gestures, fueling interpretations that this was not an isolated disagreement, but evidence of deeper conflict. Online reactions spiraled into multiple narratives. Some fans insisted it was a trivial spat, exaggerated by the media. Others declared it proof of imminent separation, while more speculative voices tied it to long-standing rumors of career strain and incompatible lifestyles. Adding fuel to the fire was the couple's own history of unguarded confessions in interviews. Nicole Kidman herself has admitted on camera to profound struggles in past relationships, including divorce and miscarriage, and she has frequently described her marriage to Urban as both her sanctuary and her most demanding emotional partnership. In a widely circulated 60 Minutes interview, Kidman allowed rare vulnerability about her private life.
I get emotional even talking about it because I'm so grateful to her.
It's a beautiful...
I cannot believe I'm now crying on 60 Minutes.
That raw candor, breaking down on camera, cemented an image of authenticity that now stands in sharp contrast to the viral footage of visible conflict. The video's authenticity is unquestionable. It was captured by fans in a public venue, not doctored by tabloids. The very ordinariness of the setting, no red carpet, no staged promotional appearance, meant the scene felt unfiltered. This lack of artifice drove virality. Social platforms thrive on unmasking moments where celebrities appear unscripted. By the time major entertainment outlets aggregated the story, the footage had already taken on a mythic quality. This was the moment the public saw the cracks. Observers immediately drew connections to Keith Urban's own past admissions. Urban has never concealed his history with substance abuse and his reliance on Kidman during his recovery. Even in the early years of their relationship, as Keith Urban struggled with drug and alcohol addiction, Nicole Kidman and Keith's bond never wavered. They discovered each other in the vast world of fame and industry pressures, and despite the challenges, they remained intensely devoted, often described as being utterly infatuated with one another. That line, "their bond never wavered," has been recycled countless times in media profiles as a symbol of endurance. The viral clip now calls that narrative into question, not because the footage disproves resilience, but because it punctures the illusion of perpetual harmony. Tabloids framed the moment with loaded headlines, presenting the clip as Nicole and Keith's biggest fight yet. Social media amplified these narratives by cutting the footage into shorter, more sensational edits, zooming in on Nicole's expression, adding captions, interpreting Keith's gestures, and splicing archival interviews to imply contradiction.
What would you say to the 21-year-old Nicole today?
I'd say enjoy it, you know, because really that's the only thing that we have is and choose love.
When juxtaposed with footage of a heated exchange, the irony proved irresistible to content creators seeking virality. The intensity of analysis was heightened by the couple's history of being portrayed as unusually stable for Hollywood standards. Nicole Kidman's prior marriage to Tom Cruise ended in public fracture, complete with high-profile custody battles and tabloid speculation. Keith Urban's battle with addiction added another dimension to their narrative of triumph through hardship. Together, they built a brand of mutual salvation. She rescued him from addiction, and he gave her the family she longed for after years of fertility struggles. It was a story that media outlets repeatedly returned to, cementing the couple as both glamorous and relatable. The viral video then became more than a clip. It was perceived as a rupture in a long-constructed myth. Critically, the heated footage was not accompanied by audio clear enough to confirm the content of their exchange. Fans relied on lip reading and speculative captions to assign meaning. Some claimed Nicole was criticizing Keith's schedule. Others suggested tension over family obligations. The ambiguity fueled more speculation. Comment sections are filled with interpretations masquerading as certainty, with thousands asserting contradictory narratives. In an age where perception often outweighs fact, the absence of verifiable dialogue only magnified the debate. Major outlets quickly transitioned from reporting on the footage itself to contextualizing it. Features emerged, exploring Nicole's prior admissions of heartbreak and longing. This vulnerability, placed against images of visible marital tension, fed the perception of fragility. What escalated the story beyond routine gossip was the timing. Nicole Kidman is in the midst of promoting new projects, while Keith Urban continues touring. Media analysts noted that the clip surfaced precisely when visibility was already heightened, making its spread exponential. Additionally, in an industry where celebrity couples are brands, any disruption to the image of stability threatens both personal reputation and professional marketability. The viral footage, therefore, became not only a personal scandal, but a potential career complication. The cycle of analysis extended further when fans began resurfacing older footage of Nicole and Keith at events. Clips from red carpets were re-edited to emphasize moments of perceived awkwardness. In particular, an older interview moment, Nicole commenting on her attraction to Keith's hands, was repackaged as evidence of a past dynamic now in decline.
And if you want to see what love in action really looks like, give that a whirl. Nick pushed through every negative voice, I'm sure even some of her own, and she chose love.
The contrast between affectionate public declarations and visible present tension generated further speculation. The viral video achieved a cultural tipping point when memes began circulating. Twitter users juxtaposed the footage with captions referencing Urban's song lyrics or Kidman's film lines, transforming a private marital moment into pop culture fodder. The memeification ensured that even casual consumers encountered the story, extending its reach beyond entertainment circles into mainstream digital culture. By the end of the first 48 hours, the clip had been viewed tens of millions of times across platforms, with aggregated news coverage solidifying its place as a major entertainment story. Publicists offered no immediate comment, which only fueled speculation. Silence in the face of viral controversy is often interpreted as strategic damage control, yet here it amplified intrigue. The lack of official clarification meant that speculation reigned unchecked, with fans and critics filling the vacuum. The impact was clear. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, long considered one of Hollywood's most resilient couples, were now being discussed not for their achievements, but for their perceived unraveling. The viral video had accomplished what decades of public relations efforts had sought to prevent. It reframed the couple's narrative not as a triumph of love, but as a fragile partnership under strain. Cracks behind the glamour. The viral video was not the first time Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's relationship was placed under an unforgiving spotlight. To fully understand the magnitude of the new footage, the media immediately began excavating their history, examining every interview, every red carpet glance, every past confession. What emerged was not a single scandal, but a pattern of moments that, in retrospect, seemed to foreshadow cracks in the public fairy tale. Industry analysts highlighted the paradox of their marriage. Two individuals individuals from completely different entertainment spheres, bound by love yet burdened by the weight of global scrutiny. Nicole Kidman's career, anchored in Hollywood prestige, required her to navigate a cycle of press tours, award seasons, and high-stakes productions. Keith Urban's career, meanwhile, demanded relentless touring, extended absences, and the unpredictable rhythms of the country music circuit. The viral argument clip suddenly reframed these differences not as complementary, but as points of tension. Journalists pointed out that long before this incident, Kidman herself acknowledged the strain of balancing two careers. In her 60 Minutes appearance, she confessed to craving stability and intimacy after her divorce, emphasizing the difficulty of finding balance in a life consumed by constant motion. The resurfacing of those statements led fans to speculate that what the heated footage truly revealed was the collision of conflicting professional worlds, her need for stability versus his need for momentum.
They were very sweet, complimentary, but she always went to all of his, CMA stuff, and he always went to all of her stuff.
New angles of scrutiny also zeroed in on their parenting responsibilities. Kidman, who has 4 children, 2 adopted with Tom Cruise and 2 with Urban, has often spoken about the emotional toll of motherhood. In the context of the viral video, those words were reinterpreted as signs of long-standing emotional vulnerability. Media outlets questioned whether ongoing differences over parenting responsibilities and family planning may have contributed to visible marital stress. Another angle that caught fire revolved around generational tension. Nicole Kidman, known for her meticulous public image, comes from a cinematic era that valued controlled appearances and guarded privacy. Keith Urban, in contrast, thrives in a music culture that feeds on fan intimacy and public vulnerability. Urban's touring persona depends on audience connection, openness, and spontaneous disclosure. The viral footage, an unscripted moment of discord, embodied precisely the kind of exposure Kidman has long resisted. Analysts suggested that her visible discomfort in the footage stemmed not only from the argument itself, but from the knowledge that millions would consume and dissect it without context. Tabloids also weaponized Urban's past struggles with addiction, framing them as unresolved shadows lingering beneath the surface of the marriage. Though Kidman has spoken with pride about supporting him through rehabilitation, outlets pointed out that public images of tension could reignite speculation about relapse or unresolved personal battles. No evidence supported those claims, yet in the ecosystem of viral gossip, insinuation carries the weight of fact. Observers also revived memories of past public incidents that now seemed prescient. For instance, red carpet clips from award shows where Kidman appeared to pull her hand away from Urban's grasp were recirculated. At the time, these moments were dismissed as trivial, but in light of the viral footage, they were reframed as part of a broader pattern. Social media accounts dedicated to celebrity body language dissected these clips frame by frame, arguing that Nicole's micro-expressions hinted at long-standing frustrations.
She's not cynical, she's definitely not complacent, and she's not afraid to be afraid. I mean that professionally and also personally.
A different angle emerged from fans analyzing Urban's songwriting. In the aftermath of the viral footage, lyrics from past songs were pulled into the discourse, reinterpreted as veiled confessions. Phrases about holding on when it hurts and trying to keep love alive on the road were spotlighted, fueling claims that his music contained coded acknowledgments of marital strain. Whether those interpretations had any validity became irrelevant. What mattered was the narrative resonance in a media climate that feeds on symbolic connections. Adding complexity was Nicole Kidman's position in Hollywood as both an actress and producer. Her control over projects, her calculated public image, and her legacy as a multiple award-winning actress contrast sharply with the vulnerability implied in the footage. Commentators speculated that the heated moment represented a clash between professional personas and private realities, Nicole, the perfectionist protecting her image, versus Keith, the musician embracing messier human flaws. The footage became not merely about a marriage, but about conflicting philosophies of public life. The industry response deepened the narrative further. Public relations experts noted that couples like Kidman and Urban are brands as much as people. Their endorsements, appearances, and projects are financially tethered to their image as a stable, aspirational family. A visible rupture in that image risks more than reputation. It can impact contracts, casting decisions, and tour attendance. Analysts stressed that the viral video arrived at a precarious moment. Kidman is attached to high-profile film projects, while Urban is preparing for another tour touring cycle. The footage, therefore, was not only a personal issue but a professional liability. Media outlets also resurrected Kidman's early life experiences to add psychological depth to the narrative. Her divorce from Tom Cruise, marked by loss of custody over Bella and Connor, was cited as a foundational trauma. Critics suggested that the viral video triggered associations with past relational collapse, framing Kidman's visible tension as a defensive response rooted in old wounds. The speculation proved irresistible to tabloids that thrive on connecting present events to dramatic pasts. Another fresh angle of analysis came from feminist cultural critics who argued that public reception of the footage revealed double standards. Nicole Kidman's expressions of tension were interpreted as hostility, while Keith Urban's defensive gestures were cast as victimhood. Critics highlighted that in heterosexual celebrity relationships, women are often vilified as cold or controlling when appearing stern, while men are portrayed as sympathetic when appearing distressed. Thus, the viral clip became a case study not only in celebrity culture, but in gendered interpretation.
Good couple. And you know what? Let's be positive for them because they're hurting too, so let's just say this. Good run.
The global nature of the couple's fame added yet another layer. Kidman is Australian-born but globally recognized. Urban, though born in New Zealand and raised in Australia, is deeply embedded in the American country music scene. Their bi-continental fame means their every move is consumed by audiences across hemispheres. The viral video, therefore, was not a local tabloid story, but a global media event, covered simultaneously in Australian tabloids, American outlets, and British press. The international reach ensured the clip's dominance in entertainment cycles far longer than typical celebrity disputes. Fan communities contributed to the expansion of narratives. Dedicated online forums catalogued every public appearance, cross-referencing it against the viral footage. Fans constructed timelines of potential marital discord, noting travel schedules, interviews, and social media activity. Even mundane details, like Nicole's choice of attire at recent events, were reinterpreted as signals of emotional state. What might have once been dismissed as conspiracy theories gained traction in mainstream outlets once the footage legitimized speculation. The viral argument also reignited debates about celebrity privacy. Critics questioned the ethics of dissecting personal moments captured without consent, yet entertainment media countered that public figures of Kidman and Urban's magnitude inevitably trade privacy for fame. The tension between human dignity and public appetite ensured the clip remained a subject of ethical debate even as it drove clicks and advertising revenue. In the absence of an official statement, speculation expanded into the realm of career strategy. Analysts suggested that silence could be deliberate, allowing the footage to dominate headlines and, paradoxically, increase visibility for upcoming projects. Others dismissed this as implausible, noting that reputational damage far outweighed any promotional benefit. Regardless, the uncertainty about strategic silence further fueled coverage. By the second week of the clip's circulation, new narratives emerged that shifted focus from the couple to broader cultural anxieties. Commentators used the footage as a springboard to discuss the fragility of celebrity marriages, the pressure of public expectations, and the inevitability of cracks beneath curated perfection. In this sense, the Kidman-Urban footage transcended gossip, morphing into a cultural metaphor for the collision of private vulnerability with public spectacle. Fallout and future. The footage may have ignited speculation, but the aftermath proved even more consequential. As the video continued dominating headlines, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban faced not only a storm of gossip, but also the machinery of public opinion, industry maneuvering, and media agendas. The fallout unfolded in distinct phases: immediate online reaction, calculated silence, insider leaks, and eventual strategic repositioning.
4 months into a marriage, I'm in rehab for 3 months. with no idea what was going to happen to us.
The first phase was the fan reaction. Within hours, hashtags tied to the couple trended globally, but the tone evolved rapidly. At first, comments were dominated by shock and curiosity. Soon, however, the conversation split into camps. Defenders of the couple versus skeptics, convinced that the marriage was unraveling. The polarized dialogue became so pronounced that fan pages on Instagram and Twitter issued community guidelines, urging followers to avoid hostility. This division reflected not just interest in Kidman and Urban, but the broader culture of parasocial relationships, where audiences treat celebrity couples as extensions of their own emotional investment. The second phase was the media escalation. Entertainment news outlets scrambled for exclusives, contacting sources close to the couple to provide context. These sources, often anonymous, claimed that stress related to travel schedules, parenting logistics, and career transitions was fueling tension. While unverifiable, such claims circulated widely because they aligned with public assumptions. By attributing insider knowledge knowledge, outlets lent credibility to narratives that might otherwise be dismissed as conjecture. A striking new angle emerged when journalists began consulting professional body language experts. These specialists appeared on talk shows and YouTube breakdowns, replaying the footage in slow motion and offering clinical interpretations of micro-expressions. Nicole's clenched jaw was framed as suppressed frustration, while Keith's hand movements were interpreted as defensiveness. Whether accurate or not, these expert commentaries gave gossip a veneer of scientific legitimacy, ensuring the story's longevity in mainstream discussion. Meanwhile, Hollywood insiders reportedly grew anxious about collateral effects. Nicole Kidman is attached to major projects requiring global promotion. Studio executives, according to entertainment trade publications, feared that questions about her marriage would overshadow press junkets. For Keith Urban, whose upcoming tours relied on ticket sales across multiple continents, the concern was that headlines about conflict might damage his wholesome country star image. Thus, the viral footage triggered not only personal but commercial risk assessments at the highest levels of the entertainment industry. The third phase of fallout was the scramble for narrative control. Publicists, skilled in the art of reframing, faced a dilemma: respond quickly and risk confirming tension, or remain silent and allow speculation to spiral. Initially, they chose silence. Yet, as the story persisted, silence itself became a narrative, interpreted as evidence of damage control. PR analysts explained that in cases like this, prolonged non-response often creates more harm than good. The media vacuum invites speculation, conspiracy theories, and opportunistic exploitation by rivals. Amid this silence, opportunistic tabloids launched their own theories, including wild claims of secret separations, disputes over property, and potential custody issues. None were substantiated, but in the viral economy, plausibility mattered more than proof. Headlines screamed of divorce on the horizon, even while credible outlets reported no such evidence. The saturation of conflicting narratives created confusion, which paradoxically sustained attention.
And she would say things to me like, "I don't need anyone. I can take care of myself." I had to push through all of that to let her know that you don't have to do that anymore, Nick.
A new dimension of fallout involved celebrity peers. Fellow actors and musicians were asked about the footage in interviews, forcing them into awkward positions. Some offered generic words of support, while others deflected entirely. The spectacle of peers being pulled into the controversy highlighted how one viral moment can ripple through entire industries. It was no longer just Nicole and Keith's story. It became a conversation about celebrity marriages as a whole. Cultural critics seized on this point, arguing that the viral clip exemplified society's obsession with dismantling celebrity relationships. Essays circulated pointing out that audiences rarely celebrate longevity, but eagerly consume signs of failure. The footage, they argued, became a mirror of collective cynicism about love and commitment in the public eye. By positioning the Kidman-Urban conflict as emblematic, commentators elevated the story from gossip to cultural commentary. Another layer of fallout came from financial markets tied to celebrity branding. Analysts noted that both Nicole and Keith are tied to endorsement deals, from luxury fashion campaigns to sponsorships in the music industry. Brands value stability, glamour, and aspirational narratives. A high-profile viral fight disrupts that image, raising questions about contract renewals. Industry insiders speculated that teams behind these endorsements began quietly assessing whether the couple's image remained commercially viable. The fourth phase involved strategic counter-narratives. Weeks after the footage's peak circulation, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban appeared together at a public event, smiling for cameras and engaging in affectionate gestures. This performance was widely interpreted as deliberate damage control. Entertainment outlets described it as a reunion tour for their marriage, with every gesture scrutinized for authenticity. Critics noted that while the display suggested unity, its timing, immediately after weeks of silence, appeared calculated. This tension between sincerity and strategy became itself a topic of debate. Parallel to these appearances, archival interviews resurfaced in deliberate waves. Media outlets republished Kidman's comments about love, fidelity, and resilience. Online discourse split between those who interpreted the new public appearances as genuine reconciliation and those who dismissed them as calculated optics. This skepticism reflects a broader cultural trend. Audiences increasingly doubt celebrity authenticity, assuming manipulation even when sincerity may exist.
Trust me, those highs and lows can come with some really dark energy and those dreaded 3 a.m. feelings of complete failure.
As fallout continued, the viral moment inspired opportunistic media projects. Entertainment podcasts released episodes dissecting the fight, while YouTube creators produced hour-long compilations tracing the couple's history through the lens of the footage. The footage became not just a news story, but a content generator, monetized across platforms. Its transformation into a digital commodity underscored how celebrity vulnerability is exploited for profit in the viral economy. The fifth and perhaps most consequential phase of fallout was the long-term recalibration of reputation. For Nicole Kidman, the incident risked overshadowing her artistic achievements. Despite Academy Awards and decades of acclaimed performances, the viral video threatened to anchor her public identity in marital drama rather than professional legacy. For Keith Urban, the footage risked undermining his wholesome image in country music, where personal integrity and family values are marketed alongside music. Reputational recalibration, therefore, became essential to both careers. Industry strategists suggested potential outcomes. One path was doubling down on unity, showcasing public affection in controlled contexts to reassure audiences. Another was narrative redirection, emphasizing individual professional achievements to shift focus away from marital dynamics. Both strategies were visible in subsequent months, as Kidman leaned into high-profile acting roles while Urban amplified his touring schedule. Ultimately, the fallout revealed the fragility of celebrity image management. A single clip, unscripted, brief, and ambiguous, had the power to overshadow decades of narrative construction. Well, that's it for this video. But don't go anywhere because we've got plenty more heat for you. Just tap any of the cards on your screen right now and keep it locked.